Chapter 12, verses 1 through 22. 1. These are the words of the teaching of the prophets that is given to you as the teaching of the truth, teaching of the Spirit, teaching of the life. 2. The words of the teaching of the prophets is the teaching of the truth of the laws and recommendations of the unfolding of being. Creation equals unfolding equals becoming. Being equals existence. And it is given to you so that you may understand the existence, life, and all things that are connected to it. 3. And the truth teaching is proclaimed, announced, to you so that the hidden things of the primal creational laws and recommendations may be revealed to you, so that you learn to know how you shall conduct yourselves in your existence life. 4. Truly, instead of you showing deference, honorableness, to the unfolding of being, creation, you worship names, titles, and gods and tin gods which you yourselves fabulate, invent, and for which you have no authorization of any kind. You alone have decided and demanded yourselves to fabulate, invent gods and tin gods and high names, titles, to pray to them and to worship them. However, this is not the way of the truth. Even if most of the people of your kind, human beings, are caught up in this doing, indulge in this doing. 5. Therefore, against all the truth of freedom, you are genuflecting, suppliantly falling on your knees, before your fabulated, invented gods and tin gods and names, titles, so that you disregard the truthfully freedom of people of your kind, human beings, as is taught to you through the primal creational laws and recommendations. 6. And you have created prejudice, partiality, amongst yourselves, so that you give wine to one and deliver the other to death, depending on what you think will be the most convenient, advantageous for you, and you decide on this in vanity, imperiousness, over all right, and over the truth of the primal, creational laws and recommendations. 7. Consider, through the laws and recommendations of the unfolding of being, creation, you are given the might over everything so that you use it rightly and do not make your own laws and recommendations that are against those of the unfolding of being, creation. Therefore, if you make your own laws and recommendations, then they shall be in harmony with the primal creational ones. 8. Truly, you have the dominance over everything, but use it according to right and the law, as everything proceeds from the laws and recommendations of the unfolding of being, creation, so that you do not create right and unright or law and lawlessness. 9. To you are also given cognition, rationality, and true discernment, intellect, so that you can comprehend, understand, the right explanation of the primal, creational, laws and recommendations, and can act accordingly, so that you are protectors of yourselves and protectors of all people of your kind, humanity, as well as of all kinds of life forms, of the firmament's universe. Your world and all earths, worlds, planets, and all lights in the firmament, stars, comets, nebulas. 10. To you is given the power, rationality, and intellect, so that you may research into the hidden nature of the primal, creational, laws and recommendations, and that you may direct yourselves according to the tidings, message teaching, that is given to you through the true prophets. 11. Therefore turn yourselves towards the truthfully truth, and do not foment intrigues, guilefulness, against it, because just as you do not like intrigues, guilefulness, against yourselves, so you shall also not like wanting to devalue the truth through intrigues, guilefulness. 12. Truly, most of those amongst you are not particularly well versed in the truth and in its benefit, success, so that most diligently wish to achieve their intentions through untruth, lying, and unright, which is however directed against the primal, creational, laws and recommendations, and for this reason brings harm to all in its time, because the truth cannot be deceived and comes to the light which discovers all untruth, lying, and all unright. 13. Therefore do not unrightfully demand a reward payment for any things whatsoever that are of unright, so that you do not heedlessly pass over equitableness, fairness, and you do not turn yourselves away from the admonishment through the truth. 14. And do not raise yourselves up as gods as you raise up gods and tin gods over yourselves in a fabulating, inventing, wise, so that you will not be worshipped by people of your kind, human beings, as you worship your fabulated, invented gods and tin gods, who can neither benefit you nor harm you, in contrast to those whom you raise up into gods as people of your kind, human beings, who subdue, master you, exploit you, and make you into submissive slaves in bondage, and without will, and believing in them. 15. And if you turn to the truth, then it does not demand any reward from you if you follow it. Rather, it is a great honor for all people of your kind, human beings, if you turn to it and follow it. 16. And there are many signs, much evidence, in the appearance, nature, of your world as well as in the firmament's universe, and on the earth's, world's planets, and in all lights in the firmament, stars, comets, nebulas, for the reality of the primal creational truth, which you are recommended to follow. And you shall not pass over these signs, this evidence, of the unfolding of being, creation, heedlessly, nor turn yourselves away from them. 17. Truly, many amongst you do not heed the signs, evidence, of the truth of the presence, existence, of the unfolding of being, creation, and of its laws and recommendations, which is why you place fabulated, invented gods and tin gods at its side, to whom you senselessly pray, as also unfair ones, irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, conscienceless ones, amongst you raise themselves up as fabulated, invented gods, and have you offer worship and supplication to them. 18. However, do not feel secure with your gods and tin gods, because they can neither benefit you nor harm you, and therefore neither can they protect you, just as they cannot keep you safe from the terrible things that you yourselves create in your inner world, consciousness, in your psyche, in your inner nature, and in your individuality, character. If you go along far away from off the way of truth and turn yourselves as unfair ones, irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, conscienceless ones, to all terrible things, through which you create hatred and jealousy, as well as battles, wars, and bloody deeds, murder, unfreedom, bondage, peacelessness and dissonance, disharmony. Truly, you will suffer great harm and pain, affliction, hardship and misery through this if suddenly the hour of disaster comes, breaks in over you without you suspecting anything. 19. Therefore, it is recommended to you that you follow the straight and secure way of the truth, and lead your lives on the basis of secure cognizance of the primal, creational laws and recommendations, that you solely follow these and do not worship any gods and tin gods. 20. Listen to the true prophets and follow the teaching of the prophets, who give you revelations regarding the unfolding of being, creation, and of its laws and recommendations. 21. Do not think that the true prophets are lying to you, because they bring you true help for leading your existence life, so that you may save yourselves from all the terrible things and disaster which you create out of yourselves and harm, worry yourselves with. 22. Truly, the teaching of the prophets shows the way that you must take if you strive in cognition, rationality, and true discernment, intellect, to go along on it. The teaching of the prophets and their words are no fabulated, invented speech, but rather a fulfillment of what the prophets recognized out of the primal creational laws and recommendations as their duty, and which they bring to you as a clear explanation of all things, so that you may become knowing, conscious, and wise through following the sole truth that is given in the signs, evidence, of the presence of the unfolding of being, creation, and of its laws and recommendations, and which is substantive, visible.